Welcome back to the Goal2Go podcast, man. Episode 12, week 11 of the NFL season right around the corner. This week, gotta go over our predictions from last week. Another segment of Hot or Not. Quick little new segment, Pretenders or Contenders. And then obviously our week 12 picks. How you feeling today, bro?
Gotta, readjust to the Eagles losing a football game. Saw Eagles beat writer tweet that it's been over 300 days since the Eagles have lost a football game. So, I've kind of been out of the loop in this losing thing. But hopefully, take it at chin. We'll learn from it and we'll talk about it.
No doubt, no doubt. This week, went 6-8 on the picks. You went 8-6. Sitting at 82-68. You're sitting at 96-56. Once again, nothing I can't fix. Hot or not, bro, I'm gonna jump right into it. I got two for you this week.
Let's go.
Hot or not, the Dolphins will finish as the number one team in the AFC East.
That is not a hot take at all. That Dolphins, right now they got their offense going for them. Arguably the best offense in the league. We were at the game. We got to see it firsthand, in person, and it looked just as advertised. If you want to say the Chiefs have the best offense right now because they have Mahomes playing like an MVP, sure, you can say that. But, the Dolphins, they're right there, right up there with them. What Mike McDaniels has done with this offense and, kind of revived Tua's career and those two weapons on the outside, we know what they're capable of. We saw Jeff Wilson have a big game on Sunday. That run game is starting to get going now. If the Dolphins can tighten up on defense and, figure it out a little bit on that side of the ball, there's nothing really stopping them. And I'd go as far as to say they can possibly finish as the number one seed in the AFC, not just their division. Their offense is playing so good. They can score with anybody in the league right now.
Yeah, man. Second hot or not up. Josh Allen is not clutch enough to win the Bills a Super Bowl.
It's funny you bring that up because I have a question just like that about Josh Allen's along the same lines. But I'm going to say that is a hot take right now, but I do agree with it. Right now, Josh Allen, he's kind of looking like his rookie or year two self. And I think a key part of what's, missing in that Bills offense is no more Brian Dable. We see Brian Dable leave, go to New York. And Daniel Jones is just had a rebirth. His career just got fixed out of nowhere. And that's kind of the same thing what Brian Dable did with Josh Allen. He was really raw coming out. He had a decent year two. And then it's year three, it just clicked and Josh Allen went nuclear. So it's going to be tough to win a championship. You see how good the Chiefs are playing. Although the Bills they beat them earlier this year. That's always going to be a tough game. The Dolphins, like I just mentioned last segment, they're playing as good as football on offense as anybody, and they can score with the Bills, and we saw them do that earlier this year. They ran into a good defense in the Jets in their own division, and we saw what happened. So I think that is a hot take because I still believe in Josh Allen and his ability and, that defense as well, playing some of the best football. But it's starting to look that way, man. It's on Josh Allen's back.
Yeah, man. Those are the only two I had for you.
So I got three. I'll start you off with this one. Hot or not, Christian Watson's breakout game will prove that he will be a reliable target for Rodgers for the rest of the season.
I'm going to say that's not a hot take just because what else Rodgers have to work with right now? We know Christian Watson got talent. He got speed. There's always a question about the hands. That was really it for him. Can he catch a ball? I think we saw him do that. I think he still had to drop that game. But either way, he had 4 catches, 3 touchdowns, 107 yards, I think, or 100-plus yards, whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was 107.
You catch the ball 4 times for 100-plus yards, and 3 of them were tutties. I think Rodgers got to look your way now. There's no denying that Watson's a reliable target for Rodgers at this point with injuries, Romeo Doubs out. It's really Tunyon and a couple running backs he throws to. Look at the rest of the receiving core. Lazard's injured, right?
I think he was playing last game.
Either way, I mean,
But,
teams are going to
yeah.
lock in on Lazard because they know he's been there the longest. So Watson's going to get the number 2 DB, create opportunities. Rodgers got to take advantage if he wants to win football games.
Yeah, and especially that first touchdown he had caught from Rodgers, when they played the Vikings week 1 and he dropped that one bomb, like that was like in stride, like he had to reach out, like he should have caught it, but like you could see how someone drops it, bro. That one Rodgers threw him on that first touchdown, like he literally, like it was impossible for him to drop. Like it was literally like Rodgers put it like right here, like he didn't even have to reach out or nothing. It was just in his like breadbasket. It's a crazy throw, but yeah, I think that this past game should be, good signs to come for the Packers fans. All right, hot or not, Jeff Saturday was the right hire for the Colts.
That's a hot take. I mean, you saw one game. We talked about this personally and a little bit last week on the podcast. We were driving to the Dolphins game, and you were like, the last time Jeff Saturday coached a football game, what was it? You said the score?
I think it was in 2020 he coached during the pandemic year of a high school team. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe the stat I saw is his record was like 3-10 or some shit like that.
Yeah, 3-10 of a high school football team. I know a lot of football teams that are better than 3-10.
Not the Raiders.
I was talking high school football, man, but I mean the Raiders are different. You saw him tweet the Raiders, they suck, or whatever his tweet was exactly.
Yeah, like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, now he's an NFL head coach. I mean, maybe this could kickstart his career. I wouldn't say it was exactly the right choice, but I mean, if he's winning football games, no one can argue that. It was one game that had a bench Sam Ehlinger, and then Matt Ryan came in and then won them the game. When you got a guy like Matt Ryan, you kind of coach the game yourself. It's not like Saturday's calling plays or anything like that, but I mean, maybe a little fire under them, bro. I always talk about how head coaches, when they get fired, new guy comes in and kind of lights the fire under a team. So maybe that's what the Colts needed for. And maybe he was coaching up the O-line because Jonathan Taylor got it going.
He did. Jonathan Taylor liked his last year's self. All right, and the last one I got along the same lines with the Josh Allen question. Hot or not, Josh Allen is holding the Bills back right now.
I wouldn't say holding the Bills back just because the fact that, I mean, Josh Allen's still an elite QB, bound to make mistakes. But, all right, the fumble shouldn't have happened. It happened. That throw over the middle in the OT, uncharacteristic one.
I don't know if I'd say uncharacteristic at this point.
I mean, he was like looking dead in the middle of the field, and it's like he almost didn't see Pat Pete. He saw Pat Pete right over the middle and threw the ball right at him. Josh Allen, we've seen him make plays before, bro. That clearly wasn't his best moment. In the future, I don't expect throws like that, but I wouldn't say he's holding the Bills back, but definitely playing hurt too. But you didn't even see like his elbows really affecting him. It was more his decision making.
He was still throwing the ball all over the field.
Yeah.
And then I have one like I'll just ask you one like fake hot or not, just to see what you think. Hot or not, Baker Mayfield will lead the Panthers to a win against his old division rivals, the Ravens, this week.
No chance. Bro, I don't even got to get to explaining. There's just no chance. If it's not the Bengals, Baker Mayfield hasn't had success against them. So we're just going to end it at that, bro. Speaking of which, might as well just lead me into my next question.
Yep.
Pretenders or contenders? The Baltimore Ravens.
This was a good one for me, but I said they could be contenders. And the main reason for that is, number 8, who they have at quarterback. I think right now the Ravens, will go as far as Lamar can take them, and I do believe he has that Super Bowl ceiling. Right now he's top 10 in touchdowns, passer rating, and he's second in QB rushing yards. I mean, we've seen him drastically improve as a pocket passer this year. He looks a lot more comfortable and better at making decisions in the pocket this year. Not really, just bailing out of the pocket. He's using his legs to step up and make reads in the pocket. So that's really, really going to help, this team's chances. But really, he can, like I said earlier this year, he can backpack, the team he has and elevate those weapons. I believe Bateman is out for the season. The running backs have been banged up. But, I mean, as long as he has Andrews and likely has stepped up as well at the tight end position, we know how much he likes to target those tight ends over the middle. I mean, the defense takes the ball away at a really high rate. They're one of the top teams in takeaways, but, I mean, they're not too good against the pass at all or the run. So if they can, tighten up on defense, I believe Lamar has the ability to take the Ravens all the way. So I would say the Baltimore Ravens are contenders right now. And for me, you think the Vikings are contenders or pretenders?
Man, I think they could be contenders out there, bro. The Kirk Duggins. I mean, sitting with one loss right now at this point in the season, bro. You can't deny the fact that the Vikings. Everyone can say what they want about schedule. Went into Philly, or not? Didn't go into Philly.
Well, they did go into Philly, but
yeah, they lost
by
in
3
Philly.
touchdowns.
Yeah, early on in the year, week 2, primetime Kirk. Hopefully he could change that narrative this season. I think they could contend for a Super Bowl. They have a run game, able to control the clock. The defense steps up when they need to, playing some good football. Pat Pete said they thought I was done or whatever after the game, and he was screaming. But, I mean, they got weapons. J-Jet's obviously the most insane catch of all time, probably.
Wait, do you think that was better than Odell's catch?
All right, ESPN, but I might rock with it. But it's also recency. Like Odell's catch, he was PI'd, thrown. That ball was out of bounds.
And it was a touchdown.
Yeah. But in the corner of an end zone. Like, he had to get his feet in. And so I'm going to say Odell's is still better, bro. But I think that might be the best competition Odell's had on that catch.
Yeah, for sure. I think Odell's catch is 1-8, and that's like very, very close 1B. Like that.
The touchdown and the flag might have separated it.
It was insane. It was what, like 4th and 11, 4th and 18 or some like crazy shit like that. And Kurt literally just threw it up. And the crazier part about it, like that catch, like it's not like he like caught it with one hand and bobbled it. Like he literally had control of the ball the whole time with that one hand. And it just took it from the defender.
I think it was because the defender also had his hands on it.
Yeah, the defender had 2 hands on it. And Jay just had one and just came down with it.
Hey, bro, his skinny ass said, "Give me that, bro." That's crazy. But I think they're contenders, bro.
I just don't know about Kirk in prime time, and everyone wants to talk about, that's the problem I have. Like when it comes to the Eagles, they're like, like you guys beat Kirk Cousins in prime time, like it is whatever, it doesn't matter. Like you can't use that like against the Eagles and then say like, the Vikings are going to be contenders, because for them to do anything, like he has to win prime time in the playoffs. Like all playoff games are prime time. Like what? Like
except wild card weekend.
What is he like? If they get the early game where there's like 2 other games going on, but like regardless, if they want to go anywhere, I think Kirk Cousins does have to elevate his game in prime time, and he also does kind of throw the ball away too many times, but
he did throw 2 picks.
Yeah. In the NFC, I think the Vikings have a shot. But I think there are a few teams that take over them in the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt. So we're going to jump right into week 11, man. Our picks. Thursday Night Football, man. We got Tennessee Titans on the road at Lambeau against the Pack. Man, I got the Titans, bro. Something about just the way they've been playing. And really just sticking to their motto. Turn around, hand it off to Derrick Henry. Got a little creative with that flea flicker this week. Mm-hmm. Tannehill threw the touchdown. I mean, he's going to throw for 170 yards, I think, every week. Hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, 20+. Control the clock. Packers really don't have an identity. Starting to step it up, looking good. Rodgers might be back. But I just think that injury to Sean Gary, man, when you look at it, the Pack really going to have to stop the run against Derrick Henry. It's going to be a tough task to do. I think the Titans go into Lambeau in the cold, kind of just control the tempo of the game with Derrick Henry and really rely on the run game.
Yeah, I mean, I could completely see that happening, but I just think right now the Packers, they got a really, really big win at home against what is one of the best defenses in the league right now. So, I mean, the Packers, they're hot. They're on fire. Derrick Henry didn't have the best game last week. He had 19 carries for 53 yards and no touchdown. But I think his presence is, still good enough for the Packers to have to respect. I just think in Lambeau, it'll be that cold weather. These are games. I think it'll come down to, what team can make the most big plays. And at the end of the day, if I have Aaron Rodgers versus Ryan Tannehill, give me Rodgers. So
Ryan Tannehill.
So
no, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna rock with the Packers at home, man.
All right, next game up, Chicago Bears go to the Superdome in Atlanta against the Falcons, bro. Give me Justin Fields and company, bro. Falcons started the season kind of like what I think the Bears are now almost. Falcons really have struggled of late. Offense hasn't gotten going. Mariota's looked pretty bad. Justin Fields running for 150 yards plus in back-to-back games.
Justin Fields has literally put himself in like best running quarterback of all time conversation in like 4 games. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, no doubt. I was talking to one of my coworkers. He asked if he should trade for David Montgomery, and I was like,
no.
Sitting there thinking, yeah, like they're just gonna Justin Fields 170 yards. That's
he's
all
like
the rushing
RB3
yards.
on that team right now. Like Khalil Herbert is a bit like above him.
Herbert just went to IR.
Oh, he just got hurt.
Yeah.
Then now he's RB2 because Justin Fields is clear RB1 in that team.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's such a dynamic runner, bro.
That's what I was telling him. But Bears on the road in the dome, so conditions are gonna be nice for Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
He threw 3 TDs against the Fins. I don't know about last week, but
he had 2.
But he threw that pick 6 too.
He did, but it was like a stat or some shit. It was like he had the most. I think it was like 3 or 4 consecutive games with like 2 rushing TDs, 2 passing TDs, and then like a certain amount of yards, like on some crazy shit. So he's been throwing the ball too.
Yeah, I got the Bears.
Yeah, I just think Justin Fields, he's hot at the right time. The Falcons, it's at home, so I could see this being a scrappy game. But I just think, right now, Justin Fields, what the ability we've seen him do over these past few weeks, I think Justin Fields himself, with his, dynamic running ability and him being a decent enough passer, he can literally win games himself. And I think, the bottom end teams like the Falcons are teams he's going to be able to, just will the Bears a win against. So I think on the road, it'll be a good win for Justin Fields in company if they can pull it off. So I'm going to rock with the Bears as well.
Next up, we got your Philadelphia Eagles 8-1 against, the Jeff Saturday Indianapolis Colts. And, you were saying that you might mess around and pick the Eagles until they lose. And I was just going to mess around and pick everyone that the Eagles played against and pick them to win. But this one, I can't even do that, bro. It's the Colts. I know they got a win last week. They're a little hype. But Eagles just a better team up and down. You look at the roster. And you can't even say coaching at this point. I'm not even sure. But I got the Eagles. It's in Indy. Might be a little close, but man, I got the Eagles. You give the ball to Miles Sanders, too.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Eagles, and I'm not going to say reluctantly, but I'm going to, pick them. But in the back of my head, I do have visions of, 2021 Jonathan Taylor. And right now, the biggest concern, and we saw it last night, was just, the time of possession, the defense not being able to stop the run at all. I mean, they held the running backs to, decent yards per carry, but it was just, the timing. Like, it was always 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 2nd and 10, they get a 6-yard run. So it's 3rd and manageable. The Commanders, I believe they converted over 50% on 3rd down. They were like 12 for 21. Like, if your team is doing that, like, there's just nothing you can do, We're desperately missing Jordan Davis in the middle, helping with that run defense. So right now, I do believe Eagles are the better team. I think, we will get the run game going a lot earlier. I'm not really too mad at the offense. A couple crazy, fluke, unlucky plays happened that kind of, set the offense back. But my main concern right now is the defense and their ability to stop the run. Jonathan Taylor, we saw last year, had one of the best, rushing seasons we've ever seen. He was unstoppable, and against this Eagles defense, I was watching some of the clips and highlights last week of earlier today of the Colts game, and I'm like, of course, Jonathan Taylor, like, gets hot, has a really good game right before he plays the Eagles. He's been doing shit all season, so he's feeling it. But hopefully, we can make some adjustments, step it up all around on defense, and I'm not too worried about the offense. I think the offense will be good, although Dallas Goedert did go down with, I believe, a shoulder injury, and he's out for a few weeks. Not, season ending, but he'll be out for a few weeks, so that hurts. He's been a really big part of our offense, arguably playing as the second best tight end in the league. So we'll see, who steps up for him. But I do think we're the better team. I do think, on the road, we face some adversity. Now we really get to see how good Jalen Hurts is, after a loss, playing from behind, so to speak, now because, we've lost. So everyone's seeing how this team is going to respond. I think we respond good. I think we handle business on the road. But, I've been looking at the schedule. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself, but we got some games I might be picking against the Eagles the next few weeks if I don't see this run defense tighten up or Jordan Davis come back anytime soon.
All right. Well, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about divisions, the AFC East and the NFC East. I just wanted to bring up, not really trying to draw any, AFC East and NFC East. Bro, both of them have all four teams above 500. So obviously the East, both NFC and AFC, playing pretty good football to this point. I mean, you got four teams over 500.
And it's funny because in the beginning of the year, we literally thought it was going to be the West, like the NFC West.
Yeah, and they're probably the worst.
Yeah, and the AFC West, where now it's just looking like they have two bottom teams. Chargers are banged up, and the Chiefs should run away with that. But it's kind of interesting how the coasts just flip.
That's the name of the game, bro. Next game up, New York Jets travel to Foxborough against the Patriots. I've never been a firm believer on the Jets, even when they're high. This could be a close game, though. Don't get me wrong. But I got the Patriots, bro. Stevenson looking too good. That running game's really got going. Defense starting to step up. Bill Belichick, coach defense, is always going to play their hearts out.
Yeah.
Matt Judon, saw you guys in the TikTok comments saying Matt Judon DPOY,
As he
agreeing with Tyler. He just got a couple sacks right now. I don't want to get too ahead of
a couple sacks.
Last year he was leading the league in sacks, and then he's cooled off at the end. But I give credit where credit is due. I like Matt Judon as a player. He obviously played in Baltimore, so I've seen him a lot. Always a factor in the pass rush game.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the Patriots, better coached team, more discipline, and their quarterback's not going to make as many mistakes as the Jets.
Yeah, I think this should actually be one of the best games of the week. Both of these teams are coming off of a bye, so both of them should, have an extra week of rest and an extra week of preparation coming in. And the Patriots, they stole one up there in MetLife earlier this year from the Jets, and I just think it's going to be hard for them to go into Foxborough and win this game. Now, I can clearly see the Jets winning. They have a really good defense. Another little fun fact, they're undefeated on the road this year. They haven't lost on the road. So they know how to get it done, in hostile environments on the road with their backs against the wall. But I just, kind of like you mentioned, I just think this week the Patriots coming out of the bye are just going to be too well coached. They're not going to make too many mistakes. And I think that Patriots defense might give
Zach Wilson.
Yes, I just completely blanked on his name. Zach Wilson some fits, and I think it'll be a good competitive game. It'll probably be low scoring because both of these teams have good defenses. But I'm gonna take the Patriots at home. The Jets are still a really good team, but it'll be a tough one on the road.
I got two things. One, all right, TJB football, Jets undefeated on the road. I see you. Never brought up that stat before, bro.
Yeah, they haven't lost on the road this year.
And then two, I don't even blame you for getting Zach Wilson's name. After we had a bit of technical difficulties, man. We've been sitting here for a minute, bro. So we just getting back in the groove of things, man.
I just forgot his name though.
It's understandable, bro.
Is he a forgettable quarterback?
Hey, bro, I didn't want to bash the man, bro, but the technical difficulties. Let's just go with that, bro.
I think the Jets are heading in the right direction, man. Zach Wilson, he's shown enough to where he could possibly be their franchise quarterback.
All right, man. Next game up, the red hot Taylor Heineke Commanders on the road against the Houston Texans. Well, I've always been a believer in the Texans run game, but you know Davis Mills was one of the passing leaders last week.
Yeah, he had like 300 yards against the fraudulent Giants defense.
Yeah, just make it make sense, bro, because whenever I pick the Texans, Davis Mills doesn't show up, and it's Dameon Pierce trying to carry the team on his back. But the Commanders, man, Taylor Heineke, I was watching, I don't know who it was, bro, but whoever it was, shout out to y'all, man. Called Taylor Heineke the Batman of football. Just whenever the Commanders need some type of magic, Taylor Heineke always does it, but when he's like supposed to be the man, he kind of folds.
Did you know that the year the Steelers went 11-0, they beat the football team at the time, ended their streak, and then this year they ended our 8-0 streak? Heineke.
Wow. Wait, he did the Steelers too?
Yeah, it was Heineke. I remember it was on a Thursday night.
Maybe
game.
That's what they're calling. Yeah. Bro, that was the year where the Steelers had Big Ben, and he sucked, right? And
well, he didn't.
The defense was getting carried.
He was declining, but he was throwing the ball like all the time.
Yeah.
That was like when Chase Claypool had his like breakout year.
Him and
he
Juju
had like
was banged up maybe.
Yeah, Claypool had like 10 touchdowns as a rookie. Deontay had a good year.
Yeah.
But like Big Ben was just like throwing the ball every.
That's that air raid offense.
Yeah, that was the year before they were like, all right, we need a running back. So then they drafted Najee.
And yeah, bro, I remember that year because they were like not too flashy, but it was the defense they were always talking about, and who I call fraudulent, Mika Fitzpatrick over there at safety. But yeah, I remember that year as well.
Yeah, that was COVID year 2020.
I'm a rock with a Commander. Yeah, the COVID year when the Steelers went in the playoffs and got smacked by Baker Mayfield. And also the year, you know what, I'm not even going to get in. I got the Commanders for on the road.
This could have been recency bias, and I was going to pick the Texans just because the Commanders beat us last week. But the Texans have been competitive in a lot of games they played. 2 weeks ago on Thursday night against the Eagles, it was a close game that entire first half. They had their way in the first half with the run game, and that was kind of what brought up, those questions on the run game for the Eagles. And last week, Dameon Pierce had a decent game on the ground. He fumbled once, but he still ran pretty good. And, we saw Davis Mills air it out for over 300 yards and I think 2 or 3 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. So on the offensive side of the ball, I believe the Texans are competent enough to score. It's just their defense, man. I believe I heard something. I think they lead the league in missed tackles right now. The defense just isn't really that good. You can run on them. You can throw against them. Coming off of a very pinnacle win, the Commanders kind of looked like they were celebrating their Super Bowl win last week, beating the Eagles. But I do think they're the better team, so I'm going to pick the Commanders. As much as it hurts me, I'm going to pick the Commanders. Although, Texans, be on alert, upset alert. I'm going to pick the Commanders.
Yeah, and we were at the Dolphins game in the 1 o'clock window, so we didn't get to watch the 1 o'clock window games live. Really just had to go back, look at highlights, and relapse game tape. So it just a little. Next game up, Rams Saints. I mean, seems like every week we get one of these garbage bowls. I think that this definitely is the garbage bowl, bro. Rams' worst offense in the league, possibly.
I think they were the worst offense in the league. And then now Cooper Kupp arguably out for the year.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp, I saw he's probably come back like week 15 or something.
What's the point then? Like, you're going to be nowhere near playoff contention. Like, you might as well just sit out the rest of the year, dog.
Obviously, Rams, Cardinals both had backup QBs.
They did.
But the Cardinals really offense looked pretty solid in their outing.
Cole McCoy balled out.
I wouldn't go ball it out, but he's an NFL vet, bro.
He did enough, yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Got him the win, bro. You can't argue. He's got a better record when COD's out than Kyler Murray this year. So, but somehow, some way, you know what, bro? I'm changing my pick, bro. I had the Rams. I'm switching it. Give me New Orleans. Jarvis Landry is back.
He did have a decent game last week. I'll give him
Was like
that.
4 catches, bro.
Yeah, actually, no, never mind. He did drop a pass, and like it was an interception for the Steelers.
But
like down the line.
Either way, man, we know he got heart. Chris Olave, Kamara's playing better football. They just got more weapons, bro. You look at the Rams, they really got no offensive weapons. Stafford without his favorite target. You guys talked about if it's not Cooper Kupp, who is he throwing to? Cooper Kupp's definitely not playing. So even if Stafford plays, I mean, it's just you're going to ask Jalen Ramsey just to make pick six or Aaron Donald to murder someone. Like, bro, going there and I don't even know. Like, he's probably getting triple teamed on the D-line, bro. You'd have to go through 3 O-line. Like, bro, just give me I got the Saints, man.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that pick at all. But, you know, I mentioned it last week. I'm just going to pick against the Saints every week because the Eagles have their first-round pick. And right now, it's the number 4 projected pick right now. So I just want to see the Saints keep losing. I do think they could be the better team. Kind of like you mentioned, the Rams offense. I have not been a believer in the Rams, you know, since the beginning. Our first episode, I said they might be frauds, you know, be on the lookout.
Post first week, yeah. Well, it was our second episode, but
yeah.
It was after the Thursday night game.
Yeah. So I can clearly see a world where the Saints win, but Saints do have their own issues. You know, a little quarterback controversy. Is the Red Rifle starting? Is it going to be Jameis? Not too sure yet. I mean, outside of Chris Olave, Kamara, Juice, they're back healthy. What is that offense? I mean, this, like you said, it's the garbage bowl. It could go either way, but I want the Saints to lose so our pick can be even better. So give me the Rams on the road. Hopefully Stafford plays and like figures out something against the Saints defense that's not really good at all. You saw Kenny Pickett like pick them apart last week. He had a decent game against them, so maybe Matt Stafford can do the same and pull out a win.
I was just gonna ask, bro, who's the leader in NFC West?
The Seahawks.
Oh yeah, and then they're not even playing that good. Because I was about to say the Saints got a chance to win a division, but I guess so do the Rams. At the same time, they both.
Wait, you talking about the NFC South or the NFC West?
I'm talking about both the divisions. Like, the Saints have a chance to win the South.
Rams don't have a shot.
They kind of do, though. They have 3 wins, right? I think the Seahawks have 6.
They're not better. He literally just lost to the Cardinals last week.
I'm just saying, bro.
They're not
like,
better
if
than
they
the 49ers.
turned it around, bro.
They're not better than the 49ers or the Seahawks.
You're right, the 49ers. But the Saints, I mean, it's really Tampa Bay, and they're playing not great football at all. Their record's not, I don't think it's above 500. I think they're winning division right now under 500. And the Saints obviously.
They might be right at.
So they both, like, I'm saying, like, they're both bad teams, but they both could make the playoffs. So I just think the Saints have a better chance at that.
I don't think there's any way either one of them make the playoffs right now.
Moving on. Cleveland Browns in Buffalo against the Bills. Sometimes I call it when the Browns win football games, bro. And I think right now it's a pivotal moment in the season. You're 1 week removed from Deshaun Watson making his return to the NFL. You get a road win against the Buffalo Bills. That's momentum. And it's hard for me to say this because I drastically want to see a coaching change to the fullest extent between the head coach and the defensive coordinator with all my heart, because the team is undisciplined to the fullest, to its fullest. They decided to go with analytics and a bunch of stuff. You said it when we were at the game. And I mean, we're sitting good seats. We're sitting at the corner, though, the corner. Mm-hmm. And you're like, how are these holes so big for Jeff Wilson? It's because the Browns have no ability to stop the run because they have the worst defensive tackles in the NFL. They only care about pass rush. So when it comes down to it, they look at the analytics, who's the best pass rushing defensive tackles. And they don't get anybody to clog the middle, bro. I mean, I don't need an interior pass rush that's going to get there, 6 times a year for sacks? Like, I mean, there's no interior D lineman that's Aaron Donald getting double-digit sacks like that. You got guys like Taven Bryant. Like, it's just so bad. The linebackers are playing out of position, and they can't stop the run either. Like, don't get me wrong, JOK is good. He needs to work on his run defense, along with the rest of the guys. Obviously, Anthony Walker out, bro, but Sion Taki's just not proven anything as a third-round pick up to this point. Supposed to be a run stopper. He can't stop the run. Saw a screenshot of the Jeff Wilson touchdown where he ran up the sideline, our sideline, up into the end zone. Bro, I mean, you looked the picture. Taki had his back turned to Jeff Wilson with the offensive lineman on the ground, one-on-one in the hole, a linebacker. You had Grant Delpit and I think John Johnson over the top, and somehow you let Jeff Wilson score on the play, bro. If I could somehow figure out how to put that screenshot up, bro, maybe I'll put it up, bro. It was atrocious. There's 4 guys that make a tackle and he scores a 30-yard touchdown. But back to my point, 30 inches of snow in Buffalo, probably playing to the Browns' advantage at this point. The Bills don't run the ball at all unless it's Josh Allen. It's got to be a Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt game. I don't want to see Jacoby Brissett throw the ball. I get to see him for one more week. Don't let him throw the ball more than 20 times.
Yes, you pretty much just covered it all. And the point you want to make, when we were at the game, there was not a lot of good things going for the Browns, but outside of that one fumble Nick Chubb had, like, he was just like clear and cut, like by far, like the best player, like on the field. Even Myles Garrett, he had a very quiet game. He didn't really affect the game too much, but Nick Chubb, he broke off a nice little 30-yard run right towards our end zone. We got to see that, which was really cool. Just shows how good of a runner he is. And they were even down, but it just shows you how much they believe in Nick Chubb, and they're still feeding him the ball, which they should. He's the best player on offense by far. And I didn't know about the snow before I picked this game, so that should be a very, very interesting.
Yeah, I just saw that too, bro.
But I'm gonna pick the Bills. I do think they're the better team at home. We saw Devin Singletary early on in the game. They used him pretty good. I think he had 2 touchdowns in the first half. But I mean, I do have questions about the Bills, man. Right now, Josh Allen, he leads the league in interceptions. I think he leads the league in turnovers in total. And I do believe he is the league leader in interceptions in the red zone by a good margin. So, I mean, where you want the quarterback to be his best in the end zone to score points, Josh Allen is just turning the ball over at a high rate. And this is the second game, I believe, 2 weeks ago against the Jets. We saw him do the same thing, with the chance to go down against a good defense to win the game. Makes a bad play, turns the ball over. This past game, just too many costly turnovers. It doesn't seem like he turns the ball over as much as he does, but the turnovers do seem to be very costly. The fumble in the end zone for touchdowns that, gave the Vikings all the life they need to come back. And then the 2 interceptions, not even in the red zone. The 2 interceptions last week were in the end zone. I believe Pat Pete caught both of them. So it's really hard when Josh Allen is, kind of in this slump playing like this. But I do believe he has the arm talent to throw the ball in the snow. He has the weapons on the outside, and Stephon Diggs. Although Justin Jefferson had a, crazy, unworldly game, Stephon Diggs, had his own one-handed catch and had a really, really good game as well. So we know what he is. Gabe Davis showed up last week as well. So they have what it takes to throw the ball in the snow. And we know how good of a runner Josh Allen is, so long they keep, getting Devin Singletary touches. They brought in Nyheim Hines, James Cook. They have some good running backs, so hopefully they run the ball more. But, I mean, they just cannot rely on Josh Allen so much. And when he's winning, Josh Allen's the best quarterback. We see how he carries them. We see him make the crazy runs, the big-time throws. But when he's not at the top of his game, when he's not playing as well, there's nothing else in Buffalo to help him, and they lose. So it's literally they live by Josh Allen or die by Josh Allen. So it should be interesting, the weather you brought up. But I think this Sunday against the Browns, who you saw what the Dolphins did to their defense, I think the Bills' offense is not better than the Dolphins, but on par. And I think they live by Josh Allen this Sunday.
So you think they're going to be throwing the ball quite a lot? Or I'm just asking you because the Browns came into the game against Mike McDaniel, who obviously he's a game planner. He knows, studies his opponents, knows the Browns have a terrible defense, knows that they haven't ran the ball a lot. He was like, I think he came into the match knowing that he could run the ball and easily win that football game and control the pace and tempo, and he did, and the Browns weren't ready. Obviously, Tyreek Hill, a big weapon, kind of shut him down. Didn't hear a lot. He got that touchdown late.
Yeah, he did have that one bomb that Tua missed him on.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say he missed him.
Tyreek had a step on both of the safeties, bro. If Tua missed him.
If I'm Tua, bro, at this point, I'm just throwing the ball as deep as you can. Like, Tyreek Hill is going to find a way to get to it, bro. Like,
he'll get to it. You can't overthrow Tyreek Hill, bro. It's impossible.
Bro.
It was so funny, bro, because I even mentioned it to you, bro. On their first offensive drive, when they came out, it was Tua and Tyreek next to each other. I'm like, bro, there's no way that's Tyreek Hill, dog. Like, he literally made Tua look like a fucking prototypical NFL quarterback, bro. Like 6'4", 6'6", 230, just big quarterback. Tyreek Hill standing next to him, bro. I knew he was like not a big guy, but I mean, seeing him stand next to Tua and like Tua basically tower over him was really telling, and it just shows how crazy of an athlete that guy is to make the plays that he does on a consistent basis and to be arguably the best receiver in the league. But I think you were going to ask me, do I think the Bills are going to come out and throw the ball?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to come out and throw the ball, especially after what they saw last week. And if the weather conditions, if you say, if it's going to be snowing like that, I think they'll make it, a point to try to run the ball more. But, I mean, just take a look at last year when they played the Patriots. In that one crazy snow game, Josh Allen was still throwing the ball. So I think they'll try to, run. Obviously, in those weather conditions, you want to run the ball, but I don't think they're going to shy away from passing the ball like, we saw Mac Jones and Bill Belichick do last year in those conditions where he threw the ball like once or twice. He only threw the ball like 6 times or some crazy shit like that. So Josh Allen has the arm talent. They have the weapons to where they can throw the ball, and I think we will see them throw the ball still. But I do think they want to prioritize that running game because, like I said, man, I mean, at this point, it's just too much on Josh Allen. I do think he's a really, really, really good quarterback, arguably the second quarterback in the league, but I just don't think right now he's at the point in his career to where he could just completely just backpack a team to a championship. I think other things need to step up in order for the Bills to win. And I mean, that's just football in general, like you can't win one-dimensional. You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to throw the ball. You got to be able to stop the run. You got to be able to stop the pass, just in general. So I think the Bills need to work on becoming a more complete team. And, the weather might force them to work on that this week. So I'm going to go with the Bills at home, especially coming off a tough loss.
Might force Kevin Stefanski and Joe Woods the game plan, defensive scheme for once. But let's move on, bro, because I could bash those two guys all day. And the Panthers on the road in Baltimore against the Ravens. PJ Walker hurt. Yes, can Baker Mayfield beat his old team? I said no. Not his old team, his old divisional rival. Yeah. Lamar went to the bathroom, came back after a dookie, and then duked on the Cleveland Browns.
That was a primetime game, wasn't it? What was that?
I think it was Monday
Thursday night. Monday night?
I think it was a Monday night. I think it was on ESPN.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously that touchdown.
That was 2 years ago, right?
It was a tough one, I think.
2020, or was it last year? I think it was 2020. Or was it last year?
It might have been 21.
Either way.
Because I don't think it was 20, because that game kind of like gave us lower hopes for the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I could go on a spiral all day. But I got the Ravens, bro. Lamar, you talked about it. You think he could lead a team to a championship. I also agree with you. One of the better quarterbacks in the league, top 5. Baker Mayfield probably has some type of CTE symptoms after headbutting his own line.
Yo, that clip was insane, dog.
Like, bro, God. You just like, CTE exists and you watch him do that. I want to know.
It was like 5-6 plays straight, dog.
I was sitting there and there was a bunch of things running through my mind, but the most prominent thing is like, I wonder what his wife was like thinking when she saw that clip, bro. Just I ain't trying to bash anyone, but like, bro, if I saw my like significant other doing something like that, I'd be like, "Are you good? Like,
come on, man.
What's wrong with you?"
You know, that's that passion Baker has, man. Ever since those OU days, man.
He could have passion without headbutting his offensive line without a helmet.
I know you remember
bro.
that Kansas game, man.
Bro,
he has a history, dog.
All right, listen. I love Baker Mayfield, bro. I genuinely do, bro. But he's just right now he can't succeed in the NFL, and then he does some like crackhead stuff like that, bro. Baker, put a helmet on and headbutt him. Like you got a helmet, and they're 200 pounds heavier than you. Like I don't get it. Baker, maybe fix your footwork, and then we could talk.
Yeah, I mean, this game is pretty much self-explanatory. Panthers with the second overall pick against the Ravens, who I just said are Super Bowl contenders, or at least have the potential to be. Give me the Ravens off of a bye week. Hopefully they get a little more healthy. I know Mark Andrews was banged up that last game, so hopefully he comes back this week a little more healthy. I just think the Ravens are the better team. They had extra time to game plan. Although the Panthers they kind of get that little extended bye week with playing Thursday night last week. So, I mean, this game could get ugly, bro. It really could.
Mini bye, but
yeah, but give me the Ravens. I think at home they should handle business. Lamar should, perform very well against a subpar defense, and the Ravens defense that hasn't been as good. This is a great game, turnaround game. Play a team that hasn't been able to get much going on offense. Step up, make a few big plays, get guys, playing with a lot more confidence, and hopefully they can turn things around and possibly win the division at the end of the year. But this week, I don't think the Panthers get it done on the road, and I got the Ravens, man.
And obviously, with all my heart, I want the Panthers to win, obviously being the Ravens' division rivals, but I mean, if the Panthers win, I'm not mad, but good for them. But I just don't see it happening. Detroit Lions go to MetLife in East Rutherford against the Giants. Lions, they won 2 in a row, bro. They could make things interesting, in my opinion. This game, I think it's going to be a close one, bro. I think it's going to be one of those fourth quarters comes down to either who has the ball last or who made the least amount of mistakes in the end of the game. Lions, Giants. Lions run game looking real good. St. Brown kind of getting back to full force. Giants coming off the bye, well rested.
They played last week.
They did?
Yeah, they played.
You're right.
The
Texans.
Yeah.
I'm tripping.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically bye
well,
week.
Yeah, might as well say it's a bye.
But I mean,
but it was a close game. The Texans. They competed. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still gonna take the Giants. Like I said, it could be a close game. Yeah. Could come down. Least turnovers. Danny Dimes, is he gonna fumble? We'll see. Can the Giants defense get back to form?
Just cleaned it up.
At home, that's really the reason I'm going with the Giants. Yeah. At home, it's a tough place to play. New York, big city, might be a little chilly. The Lions aren't in the dome, so we'll see. Yeah,
when I was making the spread this morning in class, and I was looking at the games. I was like, "Ooh, Lions Giants." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's a great time for you to pick the Lions." I'm like, "Please let them be at home. Please let them be at home." And they were on the road. I'm like, "Fuck!" Like, and we talked about it after the Dolphins game on the way home. Like, that was Dan Campbell's first career road win against the Bears last week. So obviously they struggle on the road.
Wait. Nah. Maybe his first road win for the Giants.
For the Lions.
For the Lions,
well, as the Lions head coach.
Okay.
That was his first. That was their first road win.
Better say Dan Campbell's first win was on the road against the Titans.
Well, yeah, I mean for the Lions.
I know what you mean.
But I mean, I think this game we're just gonna see what the Giants do best, man. They're just going to give the Lions a heavy dose of Saquon Barkley, bro. I think he had like 30 carries last week or some shit. They're running this man like he doesn't have a injury history. And so far, he's been able to hold up to it, looking like one of the best backs in the league. playing like he want that big contract, and that's what he's asking for. So we'll see if the Giants dish it out. But I mean, I think Saquon just runs. He can runs pretty much all over the Lions. Like you said, Daniel Jones has cleaned up the mistakes this year, limit those turnovers. If this was in Detroit and that Lions offense was at home, they've been really, really good at home, not good on the road. I think it could be competitive for a few quarters, but ultimately, I think Saquon Barkley pretty much has a big game this weekend. He runs all over the Lions. Although that Lions offense can score points, and the Giants defense isn't as good, so they could put some points up. But like I said, I think Saquon pretty much, puts a stamp on this game, and the Giants win at home.
Next game up, I mean, I already said garbage bowl, but this might take the reins, bro. Not gonna lie, I think this takes the reins, no doubt. In all honesty, Raiders, Broncos. Raiders don't know how to win. Broncos just obviously not living up to their standards at all. Devontae Adams continues to eat. It's either Devontae Adams
this game
or
last
Josh
week
Jacobs.
Was crazy, bro.
Yeah,
against the Colts, that shit was insane, dog.
Like you
Should've
look
stayed
at
with
it,
the pack. You should have.
One or two guys. It's either Josh
him,
Jacobs or Devontae. You feel bad for Devontae?
Yes, bro.
The dude that won it out?
I'm just saying he not winning, bro. Like he's
I
one of
don't
my
feel bad
favorite
for him,
receivers.
bro.
Like I mean, he got the bag. That's cool, bro. But I want to see him win, dog.
Derek Carr was crying at his press conference.
Oh my gosh.
Do you even?
He's about to get fucking replaced this offseason.
Can you put all the blame on Derek Carr? Like, can you sit?
Their defense is not good.
The defense isn't good. Coaching, we know, Josh Daniels, bro. He's never been a good head coach, and he continues to get hired. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Either way,
I think it's a combination of everything, man.
yeah.
Derek Carr not playing the best football that we've seen him be able to play. That defense is not really playing good at all. And, like you said, Josh Daniels, I think he's doing an okay job. It could be better. But, I mean, this year they're 0-6 in one possession games. So, like, it just shows, that they're in, contention. They're right there. They just can't get over that hump. And they kind of remind me of the Vikings last year where I think they lost every single one-score game they played. And then, this year they turn it around and now they're 8-1. They're winning those one-possession games. So the Raiders, they're in a very weird spot right now. They just have no pass rush. Like outside of Max Crosby, no one on that defense is making plays. So I think some things need to be changed personnel-wise and coaching-wise. But they're just in a very weird place because they should be so much better than what their record is right now. They should have so many more wins. But they just can't get it done in those, close games. And it shows that, being able to win those close games is a skill because you can easily just lose them like we see the Raiders doing this year.
Yeah, I mean, we both got the Broncos, if you guys couldn't tell.
Yeah, I mean, but...
Yeah, who knows, bro? Exactly.
One of the two Raiders wins this year, I believe, was against the Broncos. So.
It wouldn't be surprised, bro, at all. Like, you just flip a coin, but
yeah.
Mile high.
And, Russ is... I was watching the clips and the highlights of that Titans Broncos.
He was also up there in passing leaders.
Russ?
Yeah.
Bro,
I think he was like fourth.
I don't know. The shit I was seeing, bro, it was like head scratching, dog. He just doesn't, it looks like, I don't know if it's the O-line, he just doesn't trust in him, but he literally is just in the pocket and he just runs around and just throws the ball down the field. And I think, what everyone is saying, Russ can't throw in the middle, he doesn't hit the middle of the field. I think it's kind of getting to him because all those, big throws and all the shots you see him take, are down the middle of the field, and he's either under pressure or is scrambling or the dude's double covered. But that Broncos offense is it's not fun to watch at all.
Next up, Cowboys, Vikings in Minnesota. I think it's a close one, man. I've been rocking with the Cowboys all year, kind of. They've been my team. Tony Pollard's been eating this year.
Yes.
Cowboys.
Wait, what? The Cowboys have been your team.
Okay, all right. See, bro, you obviously, I've been picking them in the pick'ems this year. Okay, you know what I meant, bro.
No,
like, come on. All right, I gotta clarify, bro.
Even if you're talking like that, bro, like you haven't even like been like talking about the Cowboys, bro.
No, but I've been picking them heavily in the pick'ems, and
if they're your team, I would at least expect you to like be saying like, oh, I really like what like their defense. Like Dak has been playing good. CD stepped up.
Like, NFC East, I picked them to win it in the beginning of the year. Did I not? You
just haven't talked about them,
bro. I mean, we'll talk about every team every week.
No, but I'm saying like if they're your team,
they're not my team, bro. But they've been a team I've been picking heavily this year. Let me rephrase it, bro. I apologize. Anyways. Cowboys, Vikings. I picked the Cowboys a lot, bro. In Minnesota, I could see the Cowboys sneaking one out because, you know, the Vikings riding that high after a big win. And with their record right now. But Cowboys last week saw a meme. So one time in 10 years that Mike McCarthy has won the Packers a football game. Blew it against the Pack. Last week, let Aaron Rodgers resurrect his career praying to the ayahuasca gods. So I got Minnesota, bro. That combo, Dalvin Cook, Alex Madison. I like it. Jay Jets. Kirk Cousins takes care of the football. Vikings, I feel like they'll come out with it. But if not, bro, the Cowboys could easily take this one. It's definitely a winnable game for Dak. And could be a swing game, especially after the Eagles lost last week. Get a little momentum. Still might not win the NFC East, but you get that momentum late in the season. Wild card team, you're able to make a push with that.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys will win this game. I'm still not completely bought in on the Vikings. I do think they're a good team. I think they'll compete. But earlier in the podcast, I mentioned I got a few teams over them that I would pick over them in the playoffs, and right now the Cowboys are one of them. Their defense, you know, we saw last week, the Packers ran the ball pretty good against them. They haven't been the best against the run this year. But in terms of pass defense, Trayvon Diggs has been playing at a good level. He's, you know, cleaned up those coverage issues that he had last year where he was like just a ball hawk, but he was getting beat, you know, through the air. He's looked a lot better. Michael Parsons, arguably the best pass rusher in the league. He's kind of disappeared or quieted down recently. Yeah, he's been quiet the last few weeks, so I expect him to step it up. He's, you know, one of the best defensive players in the league. I just think this Cowboys defense will be too much of a problem for Kirk. It'll be really fun to see that battle between Jay Jets and Diggs on the outside. That'll be pretty fun to watch. But I just think Dak cleans up those mistakes that he made last week against the Packers. Two kind of boneheaded interceptions that, you know, brought the Packers back to life and kept them in the game the whole time. So Dak cleans it up. They just run the ball. I think Zeke might be coming back next week, and Jerry Jones is stuck on him being RB1. As an Eagles fan, I agree.
Hey, Coach Jerry.
Just let Zeke be RB1 because I'd rather see Zeke than the guy sitting behind him in Tony Pollard, who's averaging like over 5 yards a carry this year. He's been insane, super explosive. I feel more confident in the Cowboys. They're 2-point favorites on the road. Vikings, the home dog. Give me the Cowboys, man. A little NFC East bias, but I do think they're the better team.
Next game up,
And side note, I believe this game is in the 4:00 window, so it'll be closer to prime time. So you might get
Kirk Cousins might be.
He might not be. He might not be. You know, that early window Kirk Cousins, man. He might be a little closer to prime time Kirk.
Well, what you're saying that it gave me extra time to think. Made my change of picks on this game. Division matchup, Bengals Steelers. I originally had the Bengals. I switched to the Steelers. Not for any actual reason, to be honest with you. Just want the Bengals to lose. I dislike them somehow more than the Steelers right now. Just because that boy Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they do a lot of talking. Steelers really can't do much talking anymore. TikTok boys are gone. Don't dislike them as much. Still hate Mika. But is what it is. TJ Watt back.
Yeah.
Pass rush presence. Joe Burrow, O-line, not good.
No, not at all.
So You might see him get to it. The Bengals, we've seen them fold against the Browns in prime time. 4 o'clock window, closer to prime time. But either way, I mean, I'm rocking with the Steelers. Najee started to get something cooking last week. Started not really as good as last year, but he started to show some flashes that he can still run the football.
He actually has vision.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm a rock with the Steelers this week. Need the Bengals to lose, bro. Steelers, I just don't believe in Kenny Pickett down the stretch, but I think at home, muster this one out. Defense might get them this win.
Yeah, this is so unfortunate for the Bengals, bro, because this year they're literally TJ Watt has missed a handful of games, and the 2 times they've played the Steelers, they're literally getting the best version of him. They got him week 1 where TJ Watt and that defense literally won them the game in Cincinnati. They stole that game from him. Since then, he's been injured. He was out. Last week, he came back. That's a game, get the rust off. So this week, you're expecting a better, healthier TJ Watt. And that Bengals online has not been good this year. So they get to see TJ Watt at full force once again when he's missed over half the season. Very unfortunate for the Bengals the way that worked out. But the Bengals coming off of a bye, I think they have enough time to, scheme up some stuff. And that run game has been looking a lot better with Joe Mixon 2 weeks ago. Had 5 total touchdowns. So hopefully,
crazy.
Yeah, hopefully this game they're able to run the ball more, kind of, to seduce the pass rush, keep the Steelers more even. Jamar Chase, I think he's still out this week.
Hold
right?
up, bro. You said seduce the pass rush?
Yeah, if you can run the ball, the pass rush won't be as good because they have to account for the run.
I don't think seduce is the right word, but go ahead.
Or subdued. My fault.
Yeah.
Subdue the pass rush.
I was like, bro, I don't know what the pass rush is doing to the Bengals, but
hopefully they, make it easier on that O line. Most O linemen like to, run block and pass block.
That.
Either way, I mean, it's on the road because the Steelers did steal that first game. But right now, I think the Bengals are a better team, and I think they've cleaned up a lot of stuff since the last time they played in Week 1, and their defense has been playing at a really high level as well. So I'm going to take the Bengals.
Next game up, Chiefs-Chargers, Sunday Night Football. The Chargers looking like a shell of a team right now. Really, I don't even need to do too much talking here. Chiefs, Pat Mahomes on the road. Kadarius Toney, he got involved last week with a tutty.
Yeah, 6 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown, something like that.
Starting to get him involved to the offense just adds another weapon with Juju, MVS, run game, the running backs that they get involved, that the trio that they swap in and out like it's nothing. I mean, just too many weapons on offense for the Chargers. Defense not good at all for the Chargers. And you're going to rely on Herbert to throw the ball 37 times in a football game with 0 weapons at all. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs should win this game. I mean, the Chiefs are playing like the best team in football right now, especially after the Bills and the Eagles kind of looked a little shaky last week. The Chiefs are just doing nothing but getting better every week. With that being said, I'm picking the Chargers. For the Chargers, they already lost one early against the Chiefs on the road. So for them to pretty much, have any hope at winning this division or, being more competitive even in the playoff seeding, this is a big game for them. This is pretty much, I'm not going to say their season on the line, but if they win this game against the Chiefs, it looks a lot better. So I'm going to say this is a must-win for the Chargers, and I think Justin Herbert, with his back against the wall, broken ribs, missing his left tackle, missing his two targets on the outside, and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, that defense is really, really banged up. So I think we can see a shootout. And I think Justin Herbert has a performance where he, tries to solidify himself as one of the top quarterbacks, because at this point, it's a must-win game. And division matchups, division rivals, we've seen crazier stuff happen. I know the Chargers really don't have a home field advantage because they play in SoFi, and that's never really been a home field for them or the Rams. But prime time in a do or die must win game. I think the Chargers just come out. They just swinging for the fences. Hopefully a couple of those swings hit, and I think the Chargers could come out and win a pretty good game.
Monday Night Football, 49ers on the road in Arizona. Kind of sitting here thinking about this one. I got the Niners. I'm going to stick with the Niners. But if K1's playing, I could see it going the other way. Cardinals in desperate need of a win right now in order to keep it pushing with them as the season progresses. But I think that the Niners got too many weapons with CMC out there. Shanahan coached offense. You're going to get him involved. Limit the throws by Jimmy. If he does throw the ball, those quick slants, get the ball out of his hands. Just control the tempo of the game. And the Cardinals, James Conner came back. They cut Benjamin. Bro, I don't know what's up with that, bro.
That was your boy. Who was that? Who's their other running back they had? They were running Benjamin and who was the other dude?
I don't even know.
Fuck, bro. I gotta look his name up now, bro.
But I don't know why they would do that. It's probably gonna get picked up by somebody. I got the Niners. It's gonna lead in my next question. After you make this final pick, I got one extra kind of take for you.
Oh, they had Darrell Williams, but he's on IR. So they have Keontae Ingram. I have no idea who that is, but that's their RB2 right now. Maybe Darrell Williams is coming off of IR soon. I don't know.
I just know that James Conner came back and they cut,
Yeah, I did see. Well, they would have, I think 4 running backs on their roster.
I mean, every team basically does.
So that would be a fifth running back, I believe.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how much of a pay cut they're saving with go just make your pick, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the 49ers. 49ers are a team, man. They have some experience on the defensive and offensive end. Kind of like you mentioned with the Cowboys getting hot at the right time, and the 49ers could be one of those teams. Playing against the Cardinals, I mean, last week we've seen, the recipe for success for the 49ers. Don't let Jimmy Garoppolo throw a touchdown. I believe there some stat came out saying that he's 10-2 when he doesn't throw a passing touchdown. So they win games when he doesn't throw a passing touchdown. I mean, but like you say, I think this offense is just, there's too many weapons. Kittle, he's been back. We know what Christian McCaffrey brings in this running scheme. The little West Coast zone run Shanahan loves to run. Ayuk, he's kind of, been sneaky good these last few games. He's kind of stepped up and, not going to say taken over the wide receiver one role, but Debo's been banged up. Played last week, but Ayuk has looked really good. Debo coming back a little healthy. I just think this 49ers team on offense and defense will be too much for the Cardinals, even if Kyler Murray does play. 49ers they're one of those teams right now in the NFC that, as an Eagles fan, if we have to see them in the playoffs, I'm praying Jordan Davis is back and Jonathan Gannon has the answer for the run game, because that's what they do best is run the ball. And I think they get it done against the 49ers on Monday night.
That one extra thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham Jr. eyeing a return to the NFL, man. A lot of talks going around. Cowboys, Bills, return to New York. What's your take?
If he's anything like he was last year, I think it'll be a good addition to any team that's trying to contend. He was a deep threat for the Rams last year. Made a couple big plays in the Super Bowl before unfortunately tearing his ACL. I think he just goes to a contender. Had another weapon to a team that desperately needs it. The I could see the Bills. The Packers, it would be nice, but they're not going to win. So I don't think he would want to go there. I just think he needs to go to a contending team. It'd be interesting. Maybe if he goes to the Ravens, give Lamar a true wide receiver one. But I don't know if at this point in his career he's a wide receiver one.
Or even if you want to play, it's a run first offense. It's not air raid like throw the ball like the Rams was with Matt Stafford.
They if Odell goes to the Ravens, it could help them, open up the game plan because Lamar now legitimately has, a proven wide receiver one in the league. But kind of like you mentioned, I think at this point he's more of a complementary piece than the centerpiece in his offense. But that's not taking anything away from him.
I mean, he's had 2 ACL injuries, bro.
So it's kind of tough. And he's, on the other side of 30 now. He just turned 30, I believe, last month or a few weeks ago. So I definitely think he should end up, on a contending team. Maybe a team like the Vikings, kind of give Kirk even more help. I mean, outside of Justin Jefferson, Hawkinson has been a good addition, but, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne haven't really, stepped up. So it could be cool to see Odell and J-Jets playing together. They could make a push, but yeah, I think he'd be a nice piece for any contending team,
Just want to put this out there, man. Odell, if you want to return to Cleveland.
Odell to Miami as wide receiver 3?
Yeah, I was going to say something like that, but they don't even need it. I mean, we saw it, bro. Sherfield, man, he's a wide receiver 3. I think he could be a wide receiver 2 on any team, bro.
Yeah, Sherfield was snapping, bro.
And then you still got Cedric Wilson, who's no scrub either, bro. I mean, they're deep at the receiver position. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins move on from Gesicki at some point, though. Maybe try to get something from him. But for him, you don't see Tua utilize the tight ends too much. If they do, I really don't see a drop-off between Gesicki and Smythe. Maybe just in the red zone, but...
What's his name? Got an end zone, too. The fullback? Ingold?
Oh, yeah, Ingold.
Yeah, he scored.
Yeah. Bro, you know Mike McDaniel likes using that fullback. Kyle Hughes check. Come on, bro. He makes anybody look nice.
I think it was PFF. I think he was the highest graded player in PFF this past week.
Yeah, because he's on the field for 12 snaps.
Yeah.
But, man, that concludes our episode 12, week 11 NFL season. We're here, every Tuesday recording the podcast drops. Wednesday, Thursday nights.
Shout out Jimmy, man. Great defensive stop against D-Book to get the win, man.
Oh, yeah. We could talk about that real quick. I was watching that game last night. Big
crazy.
Max FaceTime me. Shout out Big Max if he ever decides to watch the podcast and not just our TikTok. Bro, I was watching that game. Let me just talk about Kyle Lowry for a second because I got to get this off my chest. I watched him hit a big-time shot, a good three-pointer, and I'm like, all right, Kyle, maybe I'm hating on you a little too much. Now, keep in mind the possession before, I was so mad at him. He threw a terrible pass, almost turned the ball over. Somehow, I think it was Caleb Martin stuck with it, threw it back in, whatever. I'm like, all right, next possession, comes down, does the same exact thing, almost turns the ball over. He's running around, fighting for his life. And then he throws up some dumb layup. Bam's there to clean it up with the putback. Just bro, what are you doing out here? I don't know, bro. Just Kyle Lowry, bro. If you're that bad in the playoffs every year, it's just he's starting to show in the regular season now too, bro. It'd make me would just trade him, bro. Westbrook doesn't sound too bad at this point, but he's probably just as bad. I just had to get that Kyle Lowry off my chest. Max Strus, he was struggling a little last night. Hit a couple big shots late. Duncan Robinson's playing some good basketball the past couple weeks. Bam, he had 30 and 10 last night. Mm-hmm. Jimmy, obviously, he's going to give you all effort, all heart. And that stop on D-Book, it was 2 stops. He had the block shot the first time. Ayton gets the rebound. Good job by Bam to recover off the offensive board. Mm-hmm. Kicks it out to D-Book, who just hit a 3 on that same wing. Tough 3, moving. Thought he had a chance to hit it, bro. But, Jimmy had some clamps on him, bro. So, Jimmy going to play with heart. Hug Spoelstra at the end. There was always that talk about last year when they were yelling at each other. Man, them boys want to win, bro. Jimmy will do anything to take the win. Might raise his voice a little, bro, but that's just Jimmy at the end of the day.
Yeah, and while we're on the topic of basketball, Embiid had a crazy 2 games, bro. I saw it was he had over 100 points in 24 hours, dog. Because they were back-to-back games. No, but that last game he had against the Jazz was fucking insane.
Bro, he dropped a 50 ball.
I think it was like 56 or 59.
Yeah.
I think it was damn near 60. And then he had like 7 blocks, like 10 or 11 boards, I believe, and like 8 assists or some shit. He was almost had a quadruple double. Like, he was close.
No, I mean, talks to the NBA right now. It's between two people. Embiid, obviously, who's proven himself in this league, but continues to amaze. Like, and then obviously SGA, who right now is hooping on another planet.
Fucking, is that the real Maple Jordan? Like, I know that was fucking that was Andrew Wiggins' name coming out of high school, but SGA's been fucking hooping like he's Jordan. That little stat we saw. Was that you or Max into the group chat? Yeah, that he's like averaging the most points, shooting like 53.9% from the field. Like, the only person to ever do that shooting guard wise was fucking Jordan, bro. Like, SGA is on another level right now. He's hooping, bro, and he's not happy the Thunder are losing, which is it's interesting, bro.
It's insane.
Yeah,
because he's dropping 30 piece. I mean, not saying 30 piece teams could lose, but
he's playing like one of the best players in the league right now, but yet the Thunders are still a super, super young team, and they have all these draft picks, and they're still trying to develop. But SGA is just on another level right now. I mean, he opened up his game. He's got a consistent 3-ball now, and there's pretty much nothing he can't do on the offensive end, man.
Yeah, and I don't know who it was, but he dropped someone the other day, pulled up, hit the shot.
Derek White, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I enjoyed that. I'm not a Derek White fan. Not a Derek White fan at all.
He just... Bro, I don't know what it is with you and Derek White, but you guys got like personal beef I don't know about. But I mean,
you deserve that cross.
Those two people are hooping on another planet right now.
They are. Need Harden to get back. Embiid can keep playing like this, and Harden comes back to the way he was before his injury, man. Sixers.
I was gonna say, Embiid, man, if you ever want to make the trip down to Miami and reunite with Jimmy, it's open.
That'd be insane, bro.
Jimmy Ben trying to get Embiid back.
Bro, if there was some way they could keep Bam, bro, imagine like
Embiid
at the 5, Bam at the 4.
Bro, honestly, bro, you might have to trade Bam just because Embiid likes that floor spacing and Bam not really a shooter.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I would do it, bro. Fuck it.
Yeah, so would I. I mean, but Bam's obviously got the age, which is not nearly the skill set in the offense.
Yeah,
Embiid has in the
isn't
post.
even. What is he, like 28? Like
yeah, he might be 29, something like that. He's upper 20s.
And it's the NBA, bro. Like we're seeing people be able to play into their 30s at a high level. So.
No doubt, but Embiid, a guy who we know to have injuries, I wouldn't be mad about it, bro.
He can still give you 2 or 3 seasons of top.
Yeah, I'm just trying to win a championship. I mean, the Heat. It's not like they're a rebuild team. They're a big market team. They could obviously go out and make a splash in free agency.
What would you give up for Embiid?
I'd give up
anything but Jimmy.
Yeah, anything but Jimmy,
yeah.
And maybe Hero, but I would trade Hero too.
I would trade Hero as well. I mean, you still got shooting. Caleb Martin, Strus is one of the highest percentages this year from the 3. So, I mean, I would do it.
I mean, just take Lowry in a trade package.
Get Lowry out of Miami.
Yeah, just I don't care, bro.
Bro, the Heat are in so many rumors, bro. I've seen so many trade rumors with the Heat over the last few days.
Yeah, it was like Crowder.
Yeah.
Julius Randle.
Who? There was somebody else, bro. Oh, they were trying to bring it like Crowder and Pirtle from San Antonio.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I want nothing to do with Jay Crowder again. Dude, he had his time in Miami. It's done,
Listen,
bro.
if Jimmy Butler's first team all heart, Jay Crowder's like second team all heart, man. He'll give you his all.
Bro, he had the greatest bubble playoff performance until he got to the finals. And he forgot how to play. Just forgot. Now, Jay was hooping, bro. He was giving us everything we needed, and then fell off. Now, PJ Tucker, he wants to come back in that Embiid package. We could talk, but...
Yeah, PJ should have never left, bro. He embody that Heat culture, bro.
Bro, I thought he fit so well, bro. I don't know what. I mean, obviously, I'm not.
Jimmy should have hit that fucking 3, bro.
Oh, bro, gosh, you get me hot now, bro. We're gonna have to sign off, bro. It's getting too late.
Insane, dog.
But episode 12, man.
Shout out Curry too, man. Light skin, shout out for the light skins. He's been hooping on another world as well. The Warriors are one of the best teams when he's on the court, and then they're one of the bottom teams when he's off the court. It's insane. Yeah. I saw a stat.
That's no news for me, bro. If you're still a Curry hater in 2022, just get over it.
He's going for the MVP this year, man.
I mean, All right, famous Los.
No, I saw this stat earlier. Kirk Goldsberry posted it. The Warriors have a plus 6.8 net rating when Curry's on the court, and when he's off, they have a negative 15.9 rating when he's off the court. That just shows you how insane Curry's been playing and how good he is still this late in his career.
Yeah, bro, greatest shooter of all time,
No doubt.
Any last thoughts?
No, man. We pretty much covered it all.
Yes, sir. Episode 12, man.
Good episode.
Goal2Go pod on TikTok, Goal2Go, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Hit that share button if you're listening to Apple Music, Amazon, Spotify, whatever platform it is. On the go. Check out TikTok, man. Make sure to follow. Drop a like, drop a comment.
Appreciate it.
Let us know if y'all want to see anything new. If y'all like what y'all seeing, just let us know, man. We listen to everything. Appreciate everybody. Catch y'all next week.